Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the fundamental law of gearing. Again, this is very important concept to study and design the gear. So let's start with the statement. The law of gearing states that for transmitting constant angular velocity ratio, common normal to the contacting surface of mating teeth at every instantaneous point of contact must passes through fixed point on the line of center of two gears. In short, we can say that common normal at a point of contact must be passes from the pitch point to maintain constant angular velocity ratio between two mating gear at a particular instant. So to prove the law of gearing, we have the constructed figure, but for better understanding, I'll redraw that figure over here. So here we have a portion of gear 1 having angular velocity omega 1, and we have portion of gear 2 having angular velocity omega 2 with center O2, and here for gear 1 we have the center O1. Let us consider two teeth are come in contact at point Q. So Q is the common contact point between the two teeth. Now let's draw a common tangent T and a common normal, let us say M N. Now from center O1 and O2 draw a perpendicular on common normal. So here I have drawn a perpendicular from O1 at point M and perpendicular from O2 at point N along the common normal. Now let's join the point Q with center O1 and point Q with center O2. Now a little consideration will show that the point Q moves in the direction QC. So here let us say here is the point C when considered as a point on wheel 1, and in the direction QD when we are considering as point V on wheel 2. So here we have the construction that we are considering that point Q is on wheel 1 and moves with an velocity V1 and shown by the line QC. Then we are considering that point Q is on wheel 2 and moves with an velocity V2 represented by QD. So as we know, V1 and V2 is the velocity of point Q when we consider wheel 1 and wheel 2 respectively. Now if the teeth of two gears remains in contact, the velocity component along this velocity component of V1 and V2 along the common normal must be equal. So we can write that velocity component V1 cos of alpha is equal to V2 cos of beta. Now see how this angle become alpha and this angle become beta. To prove that, we have one construction diagram. Now see the figure 2 carefully. In figure 2 we are going to just take a simplified view which is required to prove the angle CQE is angle alpha. So in this case just see the triangle MO1Q. In that triangle the angle MO1, that is MO1Q, is angle alpha. We are considering that this angle is alpha and the angle NO2Q is the beta. Okay, so see in figure 2 MO1Q is the alpha, then O1MQ is 90 degree. So this angle become 90 minus of alpha. Now see the next. V1 is the velocity of point Q for wheel 1. So let us consider O1Q is the link. So that velocity is perpendicular to the link. So that angle become the 90 degree, and we want the angle V1QN. So how we can able to calculate that angle? So the total it become 180, and this become 90 minus alpha. Here is 90. So in figure 2 you can able to see that 90 minus alpha 90. So what remains? 180 minus of 90 minus alpha minus of 90, remaining is alpha. So here we put the angle alpha. So angle between V1Q N is the alpha. Now similar way we can able to calculate this angle V2QN. Now again we have the simplified view to prove that angle. So in this triangle O2QN, this angle is beta, this is 90 degrees. So what remains is 90 minus of beta, and total, and this angle QDQO2 is 90 degree, because see in figure 3 O2 is the link and V is the perpendicular velocity to that link. So angle V2QO2 is 90 degree. So O2QN is the 90 minus beta, and total is the 90 degree. So what remains? 90 90 get cancel. The remaining angle become beta. So angle V2QN is the beta. So now come to the point that we said that we are going to take velocity component along the common normal, and velocity component along the common normal must be equal of two meeting gear. V1 cos of alpha. So this is the velocity component of V1. It is common normal. It becomes V1 cos of alpha is equal to V2 cos of beta. Okay. Now see, instead of V1 we are going to put omega 1. So it become omega 1 into O1Q. Okay. So instead of V1 we'll put the formula omega into distance from the center. So O1Q into cos of alpha is equal to, instead of V2 we'll put omega 2 into O2Q into cos of beta. Okay. Now see the figure 1. See in triangle O1MQ and triangle O2NQ. In triangle O1MQ, what is cos of alpha? The cos of alpha become, in triangle O1MQ, cos of alpha become O1M divided by O1Q. In similar manner, in triangle O2NQ, cos of beta become O2N divided by O2Q. So I'll write over here O2Q. So cos of beta become O2N divided by O2Q. So O1Q get cancelled. Here O2Q get cancelled. So what remains? Omega 1 into O1M is equal to omega 2 into O2N. So let's shift this omega 2 over here. So we have omega 1 upon omega 2 is equal to O2N upon O1M. Let us say this is equation 1. Now let us consider these two triangles O1MP and O2NP. Those are the similar triangle. Let us write O1 in triangle O1MP P and triangle O2NP. These are the two similar triangles. Now in these triangles, let us so in this triangle I can write O2N divided by O1M is equal to O2N divided by O1M is equal to O2P divided by O1P. So O2P divided by O1P. Let us say this is equation 2. So here we have the equation 1 and equation 2. So from that equation we can write that omega 1 upon omega 2 is equal to O2N divided by O1M is equal to O2P divided by O1P. So from above equation we see that the angular velocity ratio is inversely proportional to the ratio of distance of the point P from the center O1 and O2. Therefore, in order to have a constant angular velocity ratio for all the position of the wheel, the point P must be a fixed point called as pitch point.